What if you could win every argument in life but lose everyone you love? That was the harsh reality I discovered, and it changed everything about how I view the world. Arlo Bennett was the kind of man who always had to be right. From a young age, he prided himself on his intelligence. At school, he corrected classmates in subtle ways, pointing out errors with a mix of charm and authority. At work, he would stay late to perfect reports, never missing a chance to show others the right way to do things. Even at home, he carried this same mindset, always instructing, always explaining, always correcting. For a while, it seemed to work. People respected him. They listened to him. He was proud of his reputation as someone who always knew the right answer. But life has a way of testing lessons that are learned too early. Slowly, Arlo began to notice cracks forming in his relationships. His colleagues no longer sought his input with warmth. They approached him cautiously, bracing for critique. His friends stopped calling. Even his teenage son, Noah, who had once shared everything with him, grew distant. One evening, after another day of tense meetings and polite but distant conversations, Arlo sat alone on his porch, staring at the fading light. Across the street, his neighbor, Mabel, an elderly woman with a gentle smile and a garden full of vibrant flowers, tended her plants. People loved Mabel. She was respected, consulted, and adored, but she never argued, never corrected, never insisted she was right. Arlo couldn't understand it. How could someone be so influential without needing to be right? The next morning, he walked over to Mabel's garden and asked her directly, "Mabel, how do you get people to like you? How do you inspire trust and respect without proving yourself all the time?" Mabel looked at him with eyes that seemed to see straight into his heart. "Arlo," she said softly, "I don't focus on being right. I focus on being wise. There's a difference. I don't understand." Arlo admitted, "If you're not right, how do you help people make good choices?" "Being right is about proving yourself," she explained. "Being wise is about understanding others. You can be right all you want, but if it pushes people away, what good is it?" Her words haunted Arlo that night. He replayed every argument he'd had in the past month, the debates with his colleagues, the corrections with friends, the lectures with Noah. Each memory left a sting. He saw now that his need to be right had built walls around him, walls that kept people at a distance. Determined to change, Arlo decided to try a new approach. The next morning, he invited Noah to the park, not to lecture, not to prove a point, but just to talk. Noah hesitated but agreed. For the first time in a long while, Arlo didn't argue. He didn't correct. He asked questions, listened carefully, and tried to understand his son's perspective. Slowly, Noah began to open up. They laughed, they disagreed, but it didn't matter. Arlo felt a warmth he hadn't felt in years: connection, trust, and understanding. Arlo took the same approach at work. Instead of pointing out every mistake, he offered guidance and mentorship. Instead of insisting on his way, he asked questions, listened, and offered advice when it was needed. The results were remarkable. Colleagues who had once avoided him now sought him out. Meetings became collaborative rather than confrontational. People respected him more not because he was right, but because he was wise. Weeks passed, and Arlo's life transformed. He realized that wisdom didn't mean abandoning truth or knowledge. It meant choosing how to use them. It meant picking battles carefully, listening first, and valuing relationships above ego. Being right is fleeting. People forget their arguments, but they remember how you made them feel. Being wise is lasting. It builds bridges, nurtures trust, and inspires respect. Arlo had spent decades chasing the need to be right, only to learn that the real power lay in patience, empathy, and understanding. He had learned the most valuable lesson of all: life isn't about who is right, it's about who remains connected, who grows, and who leaves a legacy of understanding. From that day forward, Arlo chose wisdom over being right. He listened more than he spoke. He guided rather than corrected. And slowly, the walls he had built around his life came down. His son returned to him fully. His colleagues valued him genuinely, and friends gravitated back into his life. Arlo had discovered a truth more powerful than any argument: that connection, empathy, and understanding are the real measures of a life well lived.